Hi, this is Donna L. Holloman here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, my Facebook page. The name of my vlog is The Spiritual Archer, and The Spiritual Archer is based on my ebook, Stranger on an Elevator, coming out soon. A spiritual phenomenon that happened on an elevator in pure daylight. It was just a normal day, and it just goes to show that the spirits, the universe, knows what to do before us. Anything that we want, it just automatically can appear if we wanted to. But I guess it leaves us up to chance every day, because every day we have to look at ourselves. I mean, we get to look at ourselves and everyone else around us and decide what to do. And sometimes we follow our heart and sometimes we follow our head. Well, today I like to talk about that, the intense feeling nature of the spiritual awakening process. Now, as I explained before, I try to explain it on every video. I was on the elevator disappeared. It wasn't just me. I wasn't alone. Normally, spiritual phenomena happen when you're all by yourself, but I wasn't alone. A total stranger jumped on the elevator just like I was. Could have been a female. Who knows? I mean, but this was actually a gentleman that hopped on the elevator, and all of a sudden this bright light showed up of extreme love. The elevator disappeared, and who the heck knows, but it could have been all me. It could have been all just me. I don't know if he actually had the same experience. As we all know that sometimes phenomena happen by the individual, and usually the individual alone, and not necessarily with another person. Well, I assumed, sometimes I could think that it would be the other person was going through the same thing, because the intense feeling of our connection was so strong that neither one of us could deny. But anyway, not long after that, I had the intense feelings nature of the spiritual awakening. And it was a process. And the process was cleaning, it was kind of cleaning me out. Negative things that would come up, any romantic notions that I ever had or even thought about marriage, relationships, how relationships should be and how it should not be. Now I'm deciding all this in my head, and as I'm deciding all this in my head, I'm being challenged to question everything that I was thinking or feeling, because most of the times our thinking creates feelings. So, and every single time I had the thinking and the feeling, I was challenged by something higher than me to answer that question. What do you mean by that? And it kept coming, and it kept coming stronger and stronger, until finally I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. And then I had to relax into whatever answer it was, just breathe into the possible answer. And sometimes the possible answer was no answer at all. But to allow myself to go through it physically, emotionally, and look at it from within, without responding to it, without blaming anyone, just going within and going with those feelings of grandeur. Like, how do you, it kind of turned around like a karma. It turned around on me. And it's like, how do you know what a romantic relationship is? What does that actually mean? So I had to really go inside and find those answers, and sometimes no answers, just accept the fact that I didn't know, or accept the fact that I think I knew, but I accept the fact that I think I knew. So I had to come to the conclusion to relax within myself of every notion that I had that was outside of myself, if that makes any sense. But maybe one day we'll have a conversation on it, because you can check out my I have Facebook pages available now called Stranger on an Elevator, and that's all about the ebook. Once that is launched, so sign up for the launch date, join the book conversation after you read it, hopefully read it, and then you have some questions, concerns, or whatever you want to put on there, or you want to share a conversation. Then I have the Spiritual Archer, who talks about the intense feeling nature of the spiritual awakening process. So today, I was trying to slowly bring myself into this, because the quit smoking, I mean, there's so much. Quit smoking cigarettes. All I can know is cigarettes, like nicotine. I can't think of, right now. Everything else is still up in the air. But right now, I used the spiritual awakening process to quit smoking. How did I use the spiritual awakening process to quit smoking? Well, I'm going to make this video as short as possible, but questions, concerns, I can answer. I can try to answer the best I can. Well, like I said, the spiritual awakening is so super intense. And sometimes all we could do is just breathe into it and allow it to go through you, to allow the pain, the suffering to go through you. And you kind of have to bathe yourself into suffering of the spiritual awakening process. And the reason why we have the suffering part of the spiritual awakening, because it's stuff that is inside of us that we refuse, absolutely refuse to admit or see, spiritually or consciously or unconsciously. We have some stuff that we refuse to see, but now it's coming up, it's coming to surface, and it's going to keep trying to come to surface until we finally realize, okay, it's there. I'm aware. And then you breathe through it until it disappears. It's like you're a little baby, on your pants leg, pulling your leg. Mommy, it's time to do this. Mommy, over and over and over and over and over again until you respond. And sometimes the best way to respond for the internal spiritual awakening is just to breathe through it and allow it to be. Allow that kid, that internal feeling, that kid to keep saying mommy. And then you embrace yourself through that frustration, the impatience, and what have you. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's definitely a challenge. And that's the most challenge you're going to have, is allowing feelings to come up and through you without response. Okay, the quit smoking is kind of the same thing. You kind of focus on one thing you want to resolve in yourself, like smoking cigarettes. That was mine. That was a big thing that I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit for a long time. I've been saying it. I've been trying. I tried so many prescriptions. I tried everything I could possibly imagine to quit smoking, except I had never did hypnosis. I might have tried hypnosis, like a self-hypnosis. Excuse me. Yes, like I might have tried self-hypnosis, but what I'm saying is I tried just about everything until I went through the spiritual awakening process. And the process was so intense. I mean, it was so much. It's unbelievable how much the human brain can come up with. But anyway, I came up with so much. I said, okay, let me break it down to a couple things. Let me work on this one thing. Use that spiritual awakening process like that baby, at the pants leg. Mommy, over and over and over again or whatever. So I allowed the process to happen while I focus on the cigarette. Just focused on the cigarette. So what I did is allow each feeling that would come up, even as I think about a cigarette. The time I think about a cigarette, the time I pick it up, the time I put it in my mouth, the time I drag on it, I am feeling all these feelings. I'm being aware of every feeling. Now, I didn't know I really had these feelings until I put my awareness on the cigarette smoke, or the smoking, or the fact that I wanted a cigarette. So I focused. I was aware of all the feelings. Didn't try anything. All I did was just did regular smoke sessions. I continued. It took me about 3 months to do that, because I wasn't used to the awareness of my feelings when I'm doing something. But this time I'm getting aware, and I'm getting more aware, and it's becoming louder, the feelings are becoming louder. Now I'm allowing those feelings as they come to go through me, like I was explaining before, because the spiritual awakening process is so extremely intense that you want to focus. You want to be aware of all your feelings that come up, or thoughts or emotions that come up through you. And I didn't realize that I had probably 1,000,000 I could say 1,000,000 thoughts that came with one cigarette, just one cigarette, one puff. 1,000,000 feelings. Well, anyway, you can't answer all the feelings that come up, but you can feel through everything. And the more you feel through, you'll find that some of those feelings and emotions are starting to like steam, like dissipate. And as they dissipate, your desires start dissipating for the cigarette. The desires start dissipating for cigarette. So the more feelings I dealt with or aware of, the more I felt my way through it, the less I had the desire for the cigarette. And until one day, it was just gone. Poof, like magic. I was like, okay, now all the other stuff. Now we got more things to work on. Okay, cigarettes gone. Thank you. That was great. So you can use the spiritual, intense feeling nature of the spiritual awakening process to help you along, to boost you in another direction. Say, for instance, you want $1 million. So that's the one thing I'm working on right now. $1 million. I mean, you got to look at $1 million just like a penny, because money, to the universe, money is money. Penny, you see penny in the ground, you pick it up because it's money, and the universe is saying, I'm giving you money. So you're grateful for everything that comes. Anyway, that's a short lesson on how I quit smoking cigarettes, and I hope you understand that. I hope it made sense. If you have questions, concerns, you want to know a little bit more, I mean, that's pretty much it. And I could probably put that in a nutshell, that the awareness of feelings and feeling through the pain and suffering is the key. So thank you for stopping by. This is Donna L. Holloman, and my blog name is The Spiritual Archer. The Spiritual Archer, based on my ebook, coming soon. Stranger on an Elevator. I'm still in the process of writing. The more interest I get, the more motivated I'll be to finish writing this book. And I'm looking forward to sharing my spiritual phenomena experience with you. So sign up to strangerontheelevator.com for my for my Stranger on the Elevator ebook launch date. I don't know when it's going to be launched yet. I'm hoping by the end of December I have it published, but I am not sure, because right now I'm working on it, and I'm hoping that I can build an audience for some interest, and you can help me get through the writing process. So thank you. Thank you for stopping by, and I wish you all the best through this spiritual awakening process. Again, namaste.